Hi guys, welcome to the Gus podcast. We're gonna be talking about, what are we talking about today?
Ghost.
We're talking about ghosts today. Go subscribe to our YouTube channel, Princess Gus. We're trying to get 100,000 subscribers. We're trying to get 100,000 subscribers.
Right.
So yeah, subscribe.
Yep.
Right.
Okay. I've always had experience with ghosts ever since I was little, and I lived in Chicago. We had this house, and our ghost name was Chloe. Her name was Chloe, and you could hear her going up and down the stairs, and she would come and touch our feet when we were sleeping, and her hands were so cold. And then we found out that it was somebody that lived in the house that was doing that to us. But I've always had different spirits that have been with me. Like in where we lived in Illinois, our one dog passed away, and then she was present. Yeah, she was present at our house when before we were gonna sell it. So she was present there, and she let us know. You know, we had her ashes because when a pet passes away, I believe that you should, you could get the ashes. Don't just bury them in your backyard. I know a lot of people do that, but for me, that hurts me more to bury them in my backyard than to have their ashes.
Agreed, because they'll always be with you. The dog's name was Lady, by the way.
Right.
So if it was present in the house because of the ashes, if it was because of the ashes, shouldn't she be present here?
No, because she didn't follow us.
She didn't.
No.
I wonder what the family who lives there now. I wonder what they think about the lady's spirit around the house. I wonder what they think about that.
I don't have no idea. But then you were just little, and you lived with us in Alabama.
Oh yeah, can I tell this one? I really love this
Yeah,
story.
you could tell this one.
So it all started when Nana and Papa moved to Alabama. Me and my parents and her, we all live in Ohio now. So when they lived in Alabama, I went and stayed there for months at a time, and I remember the drives there were so short. They felt so short, but they were so long from Ohio to Alabama.
Mm-hmm.
So all started when we went to Alabama. Before we found out the house was haunted and we had an encounter with the spirit, I was way too scared to go upstairs. I think I went upstairs maybe twice, and we took my bed downstairs into their room because I was so scared. I was at a young age. I was so paranoid because I kept on looking over my shoulder, feeling that something was behind me or looking at me, and it was like terrifying. Like Papa, he wore earplugs, and so the spirits were talking to him. So and he wore earplugs, and he said that they just made him louder, and he said they weren't saying anything mean or scary. It was like a party. It's like multiple people just talking.
Yep, and you could hear them walking down the wood steps. We had wood steps in our house that was a big grand stairway, and you could hear them walking down the stairs.
I didn't know that because I remember one time at night, it won't leave my mind. I always remember this. I heard something walking outside of the room because you guys usually slept with your door closed, right?
Mm-hmm.
I heard something walking around. I heard a do, down the stairs, do. Stopped right in front of the door. It turned around, do, right back up the stairs, and I didn't hear anything since. So, scoot forward a year or two. We were having a fire. I was there. I remember this. I was there.
Mm-hmm.
We were having a fire. We light the fire, and in the smoke, there was a person. It was shaped like a soldier.
Yeah.
Now it comes to me realize because we took a picture. She took a picture of it. You want to show them the picture?
Papa has it on his phone.
Oh, he's probably asleep.
Yeah.
So we saw it. I just realized this. So Papa heard the talking, right? So, and we saw the soldier in the fire. So that means he was hearing multiple people talk. So maybe it was spirits of multiple soldiers. And they died in a war near Alabama.
Yeah, because we were high up on a hill.
Very high. I remember.
I mean, we were right in our house. We could see the Tennessee River. And we were up on a hill. And Sand Mountain was on the other side of the Tennessee River, and you could see that hill. So I think the soldiers planted right there and was watching the other group come down that hill by the water, and then they went closer to the water and they got into this battle.
They got or maybe they got ambushed. Someone found out where they were and they got ambushed.
Right, but Alabama is very big on ghosts because in Bridgeport, Alabama, they have a reenactment of the Civil War, and they have all kinds of ghosts around that area too.
I was watching YouTube. There's a bunch of really crazy places in Alabama, like Cahaba, Alabama. It's an abandoned witch town. There's bags on the road, and if you stop and touch them, you're cursed. There's just one story I heard of this person who touched the bag. They moved there. There was a lady who lived next to them. They went over and they had dinner with her a bunch. And one day, so the dad, there was a family, two I think it was one kid, the wife, and the husband. The husband, so the kid and the girl, the wife went down there one day, and the husband saw green smoke coming out of the chimney of that one old lady's house. He walks in, and he sees his wife and kid tied up, murdered. And stuff went by, and he sees this old lady crawling on all fours on the roof, or on the ceiling of that room. And he called the cops. The cops came there. Apparently there was no lady who lived there, and people think he touched the bag because he went to, and there was no lady who lived there, and apparently he murdered his wife and kid without even noticing it.
Oh.
That's the curse. And dude who went and explored that place, he said he saw one on the side of the road, and he went back to look at it because he heard of that legend. It wasn't there anymore. It was gone. And they went through a place, another abandoned place called I can't remember what it's called. It started with an S. It's completely abandoned. People were blowing up the buildings there.
Oh.
It was abandoned because people were blowing up buildings. Yeah, so it's really scary and stuff. Alabama has a bunch of ghosts. I remember looking at haunted places. It's like it has some of the most haunted places in the world.
Yep. Alabama, it's very haunted. Because I always believed in ghosts. Always. Ever since I was little, I believed in ghosts. And my husband, Ron, he didn't. So when we moved to Alabama, he goes, he looks at me and he goes, you know, I never believed in ghosts until now. Because I could hear them at nighttime having a party. And I get up and I look around and there's nobody there. I check upstairs, I check downstairs, I check everywhere, and nobody around, and you can still hear them talking, like it's a party. And then when we saw that soldier in the campfire, I went up to the campfire the next night because we did another fire, and I said, come and shake my hand, and I put my hand out, and there was when you saw the picture, you could see a big white going around me because they wanted to let me know that they were there. And our whole house was, we had the orbs, you know, the
Orbs in the camera, the pictures.
Yeah, the bubbles. And I mean, it was freaky. It was freaky living in Alabama. And then we moved to Indiana and then to Ohio.
Wauseon, yeah. To Wauseon and to Ohio.
Yeah. ASEAN.
There's also, okay, so the next ghost story, the one here.
In
Ohio? Yeah, in Ohio. Did we have a ghost in ASEAN?
No.
Yeah, that was a nice house. I like that house, but it had its problems, so they moved here. One night me and her were here, and Nana said, "Oh, hey, you guys, I saw a ghost here one time," and I looked at her, and I'm like, "Wait, you did?" And she's like, "Yeah, it was a girl in a wedding dress dancing out on the pavement, cause we have this big, not stone, but oh yeah, it is stone, but it's not like stones. It's like stone plates.
Right.
We have a big old thing with like a furnace over there.
A fireplace.
And she said she saw it dancing. So I saw her dancing around there and stuff.
And she was an angel. She was bright white. And she had a white gown on. And she was just spinning around. And then all of a sudden, she was gone.
So, if she was wearing her wedding dress, maybe she died on her wedding day. Maybe the husband.
No, don't say that.
Okay.
No, anything could have happened to her.
Anything could have happened. Maybe she got in a crash here. Maybe she didn't even live here and she crashed over here.
Maybe
and died on her wedding day.
Alabama.
Huh?
Maybe it was the legend from Alabama.
Oh my gosh, I remember that. We were watching his videos, The Legend of Alabama. It's a lady. She hung herself on her wedding day. It was creepy.
What? I didn't know that.
I don't know. It might have been from Alabama. I don't know. So yeah.
Oh man, there's a lot of spookiness out there. And then my daughter,
Alex or Tabitha?
Tabitha.
Tabitha.
She would stand by a tree, and you would see a dark cloud like that went around her. And I said, I told her, you better go to church, because that black cloud is not a good sign.
Maybe it was like a curse, or like something was attached to her, like a bad spirit was attached to her.
You know, usually a spirit will attach to the weakest person that's in that house. And at that time, it was Papa, because he was having back surgery. So that's why he was hearing
them.
all those.
So maybe he had an attachment to them, and they were trying to scare him.
Exactly.
Or just letting him know they were there.
They were there. Yep.
Because at the time, me and Papa were the only guys in the house, and you guys probably saw a guy soldier, right?
Yes.
And
well, back
then, no girls really served.
were in there unless they were a nurse or something.
Yeah.
They weren't out on the field.
Yeah. Yeah. So maybe since me and Papa were the only guys in the house at the time, Papa was there always. He was always there, pretty much. Besides like work and stuff. I don't think he might not have been working then.
No.
Yeah, he wasn't working then. So he was there pretty much most of the time. And so he'd hear that stuff, put in earplugs, and it just gets louder. So maybe they're like penetrating into his mind. They're like the ghosts were like trying to send
taking over him.
And Papa, you guys were both, and Papa was in like Iraq and stuff like that, and wars, and you were a cop, and you were in the military too, right?
No.
Okay, so she was just a cop. Papa was in the military.
And he was a cop.
Jeez, talk about a career. So maybe they were trying to talk to him to get a connection with him, since he was also in wars and stuff and lost people he knew and liked.
Yeah. Yep.
Some people.
He when he went to Iraq, he saw a lot of stuff that I wouldn't want anybody to witness in their life, because
And you're like your worst enemy. You probably wouldn't even wish that upon them, right?
right. No, it's war is bad. But I know we have to serve our country, because we have to protect our country for our kids, our
Family.
parents, our elderly, you know, everybody that lives here. But it's hard on our soldiers. It really is, because they get banged up and bruised up and
Killed.
things that you would see at the hospital where Papa worked, because that's where he worked at when he was in Iraq.
In Iraq, then the dude who guarded their base, was that in Iraq? There's this one dude who was guarding their base, and some soldier killed this dude. Shot him in the head.
Yeah, he was protecting the outside of the
Hospital?
perimeter. Yeah, and Papa knew him, you know, saw him every day. Papa saw him every day, and he got hurt.
He got killed.
Yeah, he got killed.
He has...
And it just took one time. And now there's a lot of men and boys that have came back from Iraq that they say, well, I killed so many people, and sending them on their 18th birthday to Iraq, and they when they come back, they say, I did this and I did that, and and now it's burned in their heads because, you know, it's a part of them now because they sent them when they were kids. And that the Iraqi wall, I've seen it. I've been there. My husband went and took the paper and a pencil, and you could go like the, you know, very lightly, and then the name comes out on the piece of paper. And he did that for that guy, and plus he sent the parents a message on the obituary of him. So it was really hard, and if you lost somebody that you knew and they protected you, you feel bad. You know that lasts forever.
Survivor's guilt.
Yep.
Like, I've heard people. There's this one dude I saw who fought in one of the wars, or a war. I saw it is on a thing with cops. The dude, he was in a war, and sometimes he get flashbacks and act like he was in the war. Like, I saw this one video, the dude had he had a finger gun like this, holding a gun, and he was hiding behind a car with the gun like this, and he'd turn around and pretend like he's shooting and get back down. And Papa's a strong dude, but do you think it affected him at all? Do you think it made him guilty because he survived, or he has?
I think it. I don't think he feels guilty to survive it. I think he's angry, upset that you would send children into that type of
the battle and stuff.
Yeah, in that type of situation.
At a young age, getting your mind affected with people, you seeing people getting killed, and you have to kill people. It's well, I've heard in the war it's kill or be killed.
Yep. And some people, they don't kids don't understand what they're doing when you send them to these areas. I think a soldier should be a little bit older to be able to comprehend what's going on. Because when my husband came back from Iraq, he had flashbacks all the time.
PTSD.
Yeah, he did.
PTSD.
He did.
How bad were they?
One time, me, your mom, your dad.
Was Devin there?
No, just us four went out for dinner in Fort Wayne, and then we were coming back, and he was saying that the helicopters are coming down. He was having a flashback of what he saw. Yeah, and he's had plenty of them.
So when did it stop?
It never stops.
When's his latest flashback? When was that latest flashback that you know of?
I don't know, but it never stops. They always have that. They always have flashbacks, and they always remember what they had to do to make our country safe. Because, they blew up the Twin Towers.
Yeah.
They went for the Pentagon. They went for everything. And
I think Grandpa was at the Pentagon when it happened. He might. I think Grandpa might have been at the Pentagon when it happened.
What grandpa?
Uh, Grandpa Don.
Oh.
I think he said he was at the Pentagon when it happened.
Oh.
He might. I don't know. He said he might have. He might have. I can't remember.
My uncle worked at the Pentagon.
At the
so,
time.
Yeah.
Oh wait, did he tell you what happened? Did he explain what happened to you?
No.
Was
A
he
lot,
really
a lot,
quiet?
a lot of people don't want to.
They don't like to share it.
Right, and they don't like to talk about it. They keep it to themselves. Just like me and my husband, when we found out that an airplane went through the Twin Towers, one of the Twin Towers, we hurried up and put the TV on and we started taping it.
But you have it on
Yeah,
tape?
yeah.
Where?
VHS tapes.
Do you have a VHS player?
No, but my mom does.
I think we have one at our house. We should watch that.
You don't want to.
I don't.
No.
I've always been fascinated with, not like fascinated in a good way. I've always been like, there's things I'm like really obsessed about and watch a bunch of stuff about. One of them is like Jackie Robinson, tornadoes. I always watch tornadoes with Grandma, and the Twin Towers. I've watched a bunch of YouTube videos and we've learned about it in school. They told us that people were jumping out of the towers.
And it showed it.
They showed it. Well, yeah, the news, it was live. They couldn't really edit that out back then. And I remember one story I heard. They were documenting a dude who was walking around or working at the site when it happened. He said people would jump out and splattered. People would jump out and splatter on the ground like when you drop a glass.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Because they knew that they were going to die in a fire.
Yeah, either way.
So,
I choose the one that hurt the least
yeah.
and just jumped out.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't
And some people were holding hands. They were friends, and they
jump out.
jumped out together. Yeah.
I remember, not the time. I remember, I saw, he showed us live, our teacher showed us feed of when it happened on YouTube. You could see, we were watching, I'm not sure if the teacher noticed or anything, but you could see, it was the outline of like a lady, like a girl. You could see her, she jumps out. And how do they jump out? Do they like break the window, then jump out?
Or the window was already broken.
Oh yeah, because a lot of people died. There's so many. Many different things killed people. Like they jumped out, or they got killed on impact when the plane went through, or a fire, or inhaling too much smoke and suffocating. And when it collapsed, a bunch of people died.
Yeah. Yeah.
I was watching a documentary about it. I've watched a bunch of documentaries and YouTube videos about it. I was watching a documentary, and they were looking for traces of people in the wreckage of the towers. And it was, I think, 10 years. His family was still looking for their father and husband. It was 10 years after they found bones, matter of a human, on top of a shop that was near the towers when it collapsed. And they found it, and it turned out to be the
father.
The father.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's a shame. That's a shame. How did we get on Ghost and then we got on to the Twin Towers?
Yeah. Like we talked about stuff, and then so it started with the Ghost. Then we got to Alabama, started on soldiers. Then we started on the towers because of the soldiers and stuff.
Yeah, but I mean and I do the cleansing with the sage and the shell and the bird feather. And I have a book that tells me exactly what to do to cleanse a person and to cleanse a house and stuff like that. So it's good to know how to do that so you could cleanse your own home. Maybe we'll make a video on that next time, and we could show them how to do it. Okay? Okay, Addie?
Sure.
What's the matter?
She doesn't get to talk. Here, you want to talk, Addie?
No.
All right. Her head probably hurts. So should we talk about one more thing, or should we end it?
No. We should end it, and then are you going to talk? And then later on, you could talk about your Notre Dame.
When do we talk?
2 weeks. 2 weeks. Well, let's say after Christmas, because
Or we can do it
You're gonna-
tomorrow. Or I could do it tomorrow.
well, we're going to be making cookies.
Or I can just talk about it now and make it quick.
Okay, go ahead. Go ahead and
Okay.
make it quick.
So we had our Christmas program, or it was either after my Christmas program. Yeah, it was after my Christmas program. I went to my friend's house for the night and some of the day. And we were playing some college football 25. He was playing Notre Dame, and he's like, hey, dude, at one of our games, I saw a scout from a certain college. I'll tell you in a minute. A certain college. And me knowing my friend, he really, really loves this college. He watches this college, all their games. He keeps track of their awards and stuff. And we were playing, and he's like, hey, dude, did you know there was a scout from this college at one of our games? And I'm like, no. And he's like, yeah. And he's like, I was talking to him.
And how old are you?
I'm 11. I
Okay.
turned 11 November 6th.
Okay.
And he said he got a peek at the list of the scouting list for the players. And he said that I was top 3. And I'm like, dude, you're very funny. And he's like, dude, I'm not kidding. And I trust my friends, I believe in them. And I'm like, really? And he's like, yeah. And he's like, I'm not even kidding when I tell you number 1 was like Bartholomew Quandel or Dingle or something like that at number 1. And he's like, I'm not joking. And he's like, so what did they want me to play? What position did they want me to play? And he said, so there was all three of us at the sleepover. Me, my friend Beckett, and the person who was telling me this, his name is Quinn. He said they wanted me and Quinn to play wide receiver / tight end, and they wanted Beckett to play running back or tight end. Beckett was in the top 10. Quinn and me, or I was in the top 3. Quinn was in the top 5. And he said his college was Notre Dame. And I didn't believe him at first because Notre Dame is such a big college. My dad really wanted to go to Notre Dame and that stuff. But it had me thinking a lot, especially like Notre Dame and why they would be scouting me this young. And it came to me, one of our coaches probably called, because our Coach Mufeld, really he likes Notre Dame. I'm pretty sure he likes Notre Dame and stuff like that. He probably called him out here to look at the players and stuff. My mom was also talking to a Western Michigan a person who helped scouting for one of the Western Michigan college. She said the main ways to get into the colleges and play football is 1, your grades, 2, how involved you are in your community, and 3, how you would talk to the officials. And she's like, you can't talk crap or talk bad about the officials. Like, one of my friends, we got like 2 unsportsmanlike conducts because the refs were favoriting the other team, and I'm agreeing with Baker. I'm just not, well, not Baker. I'm agreeing with the 2 people who got us the unsportsmanlike conducts, and I'm agreeing with them, but I'm not agreeing with the way they did it because they were like talking out loud how bad these refs suck and how they're missing so many obvious calls. Like, I agree they were missing obvious calls, but he didn't have to yell it out loud and stuff. But yeah, so I could be getting in Notre Dame.
Yay! Notre Dame! So, that is your story.
Yep, my story.
Okay. So, we'll bring that up more on another day. So, we told you parts of different things. I thought we were going to stay on ghosts, but we didn't.
So we went from
we
went
went
ghosts
all
to
over the
soldiers.
place.
We went from ghosts to soldiers to 9/11 and to my career of possibly becoming a Notre Dame student.
Right. And what position do they want you to play?
Wide receiver, tight end.
Wide receiver, tight end. So, yeah. That's my boy. Yeah.
And I think they just had it down for offense. I didn't think about defense. If they wanted to play wide receiver and tight end, they'd probably put me as like a linebacker because I make good tackles. I have the most tackles on my team that I know of. Mm-hmm. Any year that I play with someone, I think there might have been. I don't think there was no years that anybody's got as many tackles as me on my team, because they call me Queso because I'm a big dude. I'm tall and I'm a big dude, and I can just because I'm big doesn't mean I can't get through that hole.
Right.
I can make people angry, and there's one time I made this dude so angry. I had our quarterback. He played linebacker too. He's really small. I had him make this one dude really mad. So this one dude just came barreling towards our QB who's playing linebacker. And Baker, like, I don't know, he tried to block the linebacker, and I'm like, okay. And I ran through and got the tackle. It was funny.
That's good.
That's good. And I turned to the QB and I'm like, what was he doing? And he's like, I don't know, I think I made him mad.
Yep. Okay, so we're gonna say good night, and please stay tuned again for us when we'll be talking about, we'll be talking about various things. Maybe we could have more of Addie in the conversation. Yeah. Hey, Addie. Addie in the conversation? Yeah. So next time, Addie will be in in the conversation more.
We'll get her another mic here. She can use this one right here.
Yeah. No, that's the mic, the lapel mic right there.
Right here. Yep.
Yeah. So, okay. Good night, everybody, and hope to see you again.
All right. Say bye, Addie.
Bye.
Bye. Okay, make sure you follow our podcast and follow us and go subscribe and watch our videos we have on our YouTube channel, Princess Gus. So, bye, guys.
Bye.